What's up, everybody? Shiny Shuriken back. Another video. That's right, 2 in 1 day after being gone for 3 weeks. Make all the fun. But I wanted to jump in and do a quick video. I haven't done any of these leak videos, and with what's been coming out over the weekend, I just had to touch on some of it, especially right now where it seems like we do have a pretty legitimately confirmed Pokedex for Sword and Shield. So I just wanted to chat about it for a little bit, get your guys' thoughts, drop some comments. It does seem like we had some early assumptions right when they announced it way back when, that we weren't getting a full Pokedex. All of the really quick assumptions, mine included, were we were going to be missing out on starters, we were going to be missing out on legendaries, and we were going to be missing out on mythicals. And boy, oh boy, aside from Charizard, that is right. So we have lost all of the starters, and that is feeling that right here, right in the heart. Because that means Greninja is not coming in to Sword and Shield. I'm not going to see Greninja up on the big screen, up on my TV. That is so depressing. I'm not going to be tossing any shiny Shurikens at anybody with my shiny Greninjas. So, sad to see that one. Kind of expected it, but always had just like a small hope. So, with that, there's a ton that's cut. I mean, even in Kanto, surprisingly. With Game Freak's love of Kanto, I am surprised to see that they cut so much from it. But it does look like, out of the starters, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard all made it. Of course, we knew that with Leon's Pokemon being Charizard. And I'm just looking at it here. It doesn't look like any other starters made it from any other generation. And I want to touch on that real quick because of what that's going to do to VGC, to the metagame. It is crazy to think that Incineroar's gone, and he was just such a staple of VGC this last year, or 2 years, actually. So crazy to see that just Incineroar's gone. It is going to do what they said. It's going to change the meta. But, I mean, when you cut out a half of what's able to be used, yeah, obviously it's going to change the meta. I mean, why wouldn't it? You don't have the same capabilities to use all of what you could have, and you don't have to prep for everything that you used to have to. I mean, it'll take a little bit, but everybody will get right back in line. They'll find their specials. They'll find the common used teams, and I mean, we'll be right back to seeing VGC with the same team over and over again with just little tiny changes. In that VGC realm, though, jumping off of starters, I just want to confirm here. I took a quick peek before I jumped into this video, but I mean, there are no other starters. Gen 7 didn't make it. Gen 6 didn't make it. There's no Gen 5, no Gen 4, no Gen 3. Nothing. I mean, we're out Swampert, we're out Blaziken, we're out Sceptile, Contrary Superior's gone. Man, all of it. It's just all gone. So it's just crazy to think. But it will provide a new and interesting scope to the game. Greninja, God, that's too bad. But with the VGC, I mean, obviously we still see that Shedinja makes it, which is kind of interesting because I thought Shedinja brought a new aspect out to the VGC Worlds this year. I did like seeing Shedinja make its appearance even all the way up to the top 8 and everything. I can't remember exactly who was using it. Wasn't James Beak. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Yeah, it was really good to see Shedinja in there. I do like that Pokemon. It'll be interesting to see how Shedinja plays a role in the future VGC with all of the new Pokemon coming out. I'm not going to trash on the new Pokemon. Yes, I've seen some of them. I'm trying to stay off of all of them, but it's hard not to take a peek at some of them. Some are nice, some aren't. We all have our own opinions. So I know that what's Plusle and Minun aren't everybody's favorite, but it's probably someone's favorite. Who knows? But I saw a couple of other ones that made it in here. From the VGC aspect, it'll really be interesting to see how this reshapes the meta with the prior generations. I think they are really trying to gear the meta towards their new Pokemon, towards the new generation. Unconfirmed that there's going to be 94 new Pokemon, and I think that includes the Galarian forms. I think we're getting like 13 or 14. And I do want to take this moment to call out here. This is not official. This is not confirmed. But it does seem to be pretty legitimate. A lot of people are posting it. I am pulling my information off of Screen Rant right now. They had an article come out about an hour ago as of right now. So seems pretty legitimate. I do want to call out Cerebi has not posted anything about the leaked Pokedex. Joe Merrick has not tweeted anything or talked about the leaked Pokedex at all. None of the leaks are on his page, so of course he's kind of one of the leaders in Pokemon information. So we'll continue to wait and see, but this does seem to be pretty legitimate. One of the bummers that we're losing out on that I want to mention real quick is that we do lose out on Ultra Beast, which I lose one of my favorites, Xurkitree. I am such a fan of the Z Hypnosis Tail Glow Zerk. I have a timid one that I hunted down. It was my I had to get my it was my third shiny Xurkitree before I could actually get him for the sync to work. But I hunted him down. Maybe a total of like 2,000 soft resets for all three of them, but I did hunt that one. I have used it. I have swept out with that thing so many times, and it's so great, and now it's gone. But that's unfortunate. So we'll of course adapt. We'll get used to it. It's just going to be something that we all have to figure out with the new generation of Pokemon and with the old generations. Of course, Kanto got shown some good love. It got a good portion of it. Things like Gyarados made it in there. The Eevee line, of course, because everybody's expecting a new Eevee. I'm not sure if there's a new Eevee out. Like I said, I'm not trying to look at everything. So that there might be a leak out for a new Eevee. But we'll wait and see. And of course, we know that there's some Galarian forms. I think I heard about a Meowth, and of course, we know about Ponyta and the Coughing line with Weezing. I don't know if that means that Coughing will be different. And I heard about a couple of others that I'm not going to mention. But of course, we'll wait to see what those other Galarian forms are. What do you guys think of Galarian forms? Because personally, I love it. I love the Alola forms. People didn't like them each one exactly the same, but I loved the idea of Alola forms. It brings a little real world feel to the game. With the fact that you can get a regional variant based off of like what's going on in that region. With Galarian and Weezing all of a sudden being this maybe like cleaner instead of poisoned. It's kind of cool, it's like the Meowth that changed in Alola and it got more sunburnt or whatever you want to call it. The Sandshrew and Vulpix that grew up on a mountain in the cold instead of in the fire and all that kind of stuff and in the deserts. And I think that's awesome. I love the idea of regional variants and bringing that real world aspect to the game. Of course, the next piece is the legendaries. All the legendaries are cut, which is a lot of my shinies, obviously, with the wormhole availabilities that Omega Ruby and Ultra Sun and Moon brought to us. Obviously, I soft reset for every legendary possible and got their shinies. Not all synced with Perfect Natures, but still, they're all gone. And I tried my best to not use teams with legendaries, but of course, classics like Zapdos and Landorus and things like that, those find their way onto teams just because. And I'll tell you what, I am really, really heartbroken to see that I'm not going to be able to also bring my favorite shiny legendary, Rayquaza. After just using him in all of the competitions for VGC, I of course brought him into as much as I could. The Ultra Final, of course, where Rayquaza, Kyogre, Groudon were staples on every team. If you didn't have one, I don't know what you were thinking. But that's a real bummer, but it was also, again, another predictable one. Mythicals are not anything I've really been super hyped on. I like Mythicals. They're fun Pokemon, but I have so few shinies of them, so I never get to use them. So that one's really not impacting me just for that reason, but again, something that was predictable, something that we saw coming. So, if you guys are jumping out and checking out the leaks, if you guys are looking at the Pokedex, drop a comment below. Tell me what you think. Are you a fan of this? Are you not a fan of this? I'm a little bit in between. I want to see what it's going to look like with the game. I don't know if the meta really needed like rebalancing as they think it did. You had the same people kind of running the show out there, and that's fine. To me, if you're that good, then you deserve to be that good. Other people could do the same thing. It's how those people prep and create, and what they do with those move sets and their EVs and IVs and everything, and how they train that Pokemon is so exact. And you're kind of taking that away from some of the people that have put in a lot of work for over, possibly over 20 years. And I think it's just a way to get more people involved, and it's a business move and a business decision, which I get. I totally get. You're always wanting to make the new game for the new generation of Pokemon, but also for the new generation of people that are going to be coming into it. Of course, you're always appealing to that younger generation that Pokemon naturally appeals to. So you want to get those individuals coming in, looking at the games, and the business side of it makes sense to me. I do, but as a Pokemon fan, of course, I'm upset to lose out on, of course, my number one favorite Pokemon, my number one favorite Legendary, and a ton of other classic Pokemon that I have spent time hunting down, getting shiny versions of, spending so much time in Gen 7 and seeing so much of it cut is unfortunate. To lose out on a lot of things. I'm trying not to reveal everything. The starters, legendaries, and mythicals I'm revealing only because it was kind of such a predictable one. There's just so much of it that you're losing out on that a lot of people have probably fell in love with over the years. So it's really unfortunate to see the games head this way. I mean, of course, they leave the room open to bring it in the future generations, but we'll see how that goes. So drop a comment below, you guys, on let me know what you think of the Pokedex. If you want to hop out, check out Screen Rant's article that was just put up. I just did a simple Google on Pokedex and clicked on the news tab. Screen Rant's one of the first ones that pops up. So go ahead and check it out. It's a really nice graphic. I really like it. And then let me know what you guys think below. So remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Come on back for more Shiny Shuriken content. Thanks, guys.